And we are live. Welcome to tonight's episode of Dice and Destiny Fireside Chats. For all of our viewers that are in the audience, I am the one that's in the hot seat tonight. So with us, we have the wonderful Jude.
Good evening. I'm Jude, I play Jess, and I will be hosting this fireside chat and grilling the DM. Hopefully, we will be joined by one other player a bit later. But for now, I guess I'm the one that's in. Well, I don't know if I'm in the hot seat. I would say the lovely DM, our the illustrious William, who DMs for us, is technically the one in the hot seat. So, without further ado, please feel free, if you are in our lovely Discord chat, send some messages with any questions you have that I can ask. But yeah, we'll get started, I guess. So, are you ready for this?
Oh God, no. At the end of the day, there's one thing that I've always said, and it's about 30 minutes prior to these fireside chats starting, when I'm the one that's asking the questions, I'm always getting extremely nervous. And I normally fluff the intro, so
Yeah.
just start my advice with something light and easy so that we can all just get into the grips with it whilst we wait for Lou to turn up and also question me on a few things.
So we might as well just start with kind of, I think, general D&D. So how long? Obviously, I know these answers, but how long have you been playing D&D or Dungeons and Dragons?
Oof. Well, about 3 years ago, I decided. Well, I didn't decide. 3 years ago, I decided to go live with streaming on other channels, but prior to that, it was about 12 years. So, all in all, about 15 years I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for now, and I just love every moment.
So what do you prefer doing? Do you prefer being a DM? Do you prefer being a player, or, a bit of both?
Honestly, anyone that turns around and says they really love being a DM is probably true. Probably not lying to you. I do love being DM, although there are a couple of other podcasts and streams that I'm on, of which I am merely a player. And being the player is great fun, but being the DM, being able to tell those stories and narrate the stories for the players is absolutely brilliant.
I don't know. The only one and only time I've DM'd as a one shot, I found it incredibly stressful and decided I think I'll be a forever player. But one day, maybe if I can find the right people, might host a Vampire Masquerade one shot. That's my other love. So, yeah. Good luck to you at DMing, because it's so stressful. Cool, brilliant. So, on to our current game of Dice and Destiny.
Yes.
What kind of inspired you to kind of create your own game, rather than following, say, one of the established campaigns like Curse of Strahd or something like that?
So I have played quite a few of the established campaigns, and as fun as they can be, it's one of those things where I've played it so many times. A lot of the players that are around this table have played quite a few of them as well. And a lot of it can be quite repetitive in the sense of most of the stories are quite well known. So, taking from a book or module, although it's great for beginners and players that have never played before, or for DMs that are starting out, having been a DM for about 12 of the 15 years now, starting with 3.5, I figured it was time to really put my imagination to the test. So here we are with Albion.
Here we are with Albion. Is this the first campaign you've written?
It's not the first campaign I've written, but it is the first world that I have fully looked to build out and explore that is my own homebrew.
Brilliant. And I believe you've done some homebrew one shots as well that
Yes.
I've played in them and they're fantastic. So go check them out.
Yep.
Start the cat causing chaos. Do apologise if you hear background noise. It's chaotic here, so
Yes, indeed.
yeah, go check out. I think is it on DM's Guild? One of the first one shots that was ever written. Oh my goodness, what is the name of it? I can't remember, but it's really fun to play. Not technically a one shot because every time I've played it, it's normally gone over to kind of two sessions. Witch Hunter's Nightmare. It's
That's the one.
fantastic, and I highly recommend it. So go check that out. I'm on DM's Guild. It's fun, and it'll be really good if you're a new DM as well to just kind of get you into DMing. It's nice and easy to DM, and
So
if you
yeah.
want to TPK your party, perfect.
It's not that bad, honestly.
It's not.
The whole TPK side of it comes if the players make stupid decisions at the very beginning. Then it gets fun. But no, the good thing about the Witch Hunter's Nightmare on DM's Guild is it's pay what you want. So you can download it for absolutely free. There's no charge to it, but you can put a donation in. It's great for Halloween, but I wrote it with the game as a framework in mind rather than all this is a full sort of here's what you're doing. It's like here's the idea, here's the basis, here's the setting. Have fun. And that's generally how I tend to run my games overall. And you'll probably notice that in this campaign as well as we continue to play.
Fantastic. So on to the current campaign of Dice and Destiny. Um, we've only had mentions so far of a few kind of towns. Main one being Ironstead. What would you say has influenced Ironstead?
Ooh, that's going to be a
Without spoilers, of course,
yeah,
for us.
no, of course. I mean, Ironstead is a portside town. It's very big for its trade, and it's probably one of the more mechanical engineering terms more advanced in things like it's where the birthplace of the crane and things like that might get discovered later. Some of our players played in a previous campaign called the Azure Watch, and yeah, one of their characters' families invented the crane there. Anyway, long story short, it's a portside town, mostly known for its fishermen trading, but over the years it's sort of grown and it's almost become a central hub in the southernmost part of, or on the southernmost coast of Albion.
Brilliant. So, Albion, I think was mentioned in a previous fireside chat, was the original name for England or part of
Yes.
England. Are there any other kind of real world influences that you've kind of woven into the game? Again, without spoiling things for the players and things and myself.
I mean, yes, definitely. So if you were to take England from long time ago, like Britannia days. We're talking age and history here. A lot of the influence has come from like quite a bit of that sort of era when it comes to the towns and things, but um, like mostly aesthetic naming, because I find there's quite a romantic side to Britannic names of towns and things from the yonder years. But the setting itself is definitely more sort of medieval, modern medieval, I would say, with magic and everything intertwined into it. So you'll throughout the course of the game and the campaign, there'll be references to various things. Whitby influences might creep in, some Blackpool or Southend influences might creep in here and there. Um, there'll definitely be influences from places like Sheffield and Birmingham as well. Um, Simply because of the types of industries that these places have and had
Sort
in our recent history. And
sort of like industrial and fishing and that kind of thing, thinking of Whitby and Birmingham and Sheffield and stuff.
yeah, so
Cool.
there's going to be plenty of influences from those sorts of areas in and around the UK, but a lot of the naming will be that Britannic, Britannia, old world names
Old
for
world.
places.
Fantastic. So far, obviously, the players have been, pretty confused. There's been some hilarious kind of conversations between the players and funny incidents. What's been your favourite in session, kind of, whether it's an argument, moment of disbelief, or just something the players have done that have completely surprised you and thrown you off completely?
Well, to be fair, there's been a few instances within the campaign that have taken me by surprise with the ingenuity of it. I'm not going to mention the Bluetooth speaker. I think we're all aware of that one. But no, there's the reaction from the players. I think as their characters have gone from modern England and 24th century, flipping hell, I'm living in the future. 20 Are we in 21st?
21st.
Yes.
We're in the 21st century,
So
just.
21st century living meets this old world. Just some of the reactions from the players have taken me aback. I'm I'm actually glad that a fair number of the players are just still not accepting that they're in a new world yet, and it's going to be entertaining having them like revealing the moment that they realize, oh crap, if you know what I mean. I think one of the big key moments for one of our players should be coming up in our next session. Um,
Ooh.
so we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Brilliant. And going back to the question that you asked us in the fireside chat, I think it was the last fireside chat. If you yourself, as William, were isekai'd to a strange world like Albion, Ironstead, how do you think you would react?
mm,
And what would you miss from the 21st century?
oh, what would I miss? The internet, without a doubt. Like I don't know what I would do without YouTube, if I'm honest, because there's absolutely nothing good on TV normally. And I think, how would I react? Huh. Well, hopefully I'd have some decent equipment on me that would help me survive. But generally speaking, I think the first thing that I would do is try and work out where the hell I was and what sort of time it is in the world.
That's a fair answer.
What sort of technology, and I think I would be in absolute panic. I would be having anxiety attacks left, right, and centre, no doubt about that. But um, I think I would be able to adapt and overcome quite easily some of the new challenges that I'd face in this world. I'd probably have to train up quite a bit though.
Given obviously given the our classes relate to our real world jobs, what class do you think you would be if you were Isekai all the way to Albion?
Right now, I mean, I work generally within the IT industry, and I specialize as a senior analyst, looking after people's computers, working in cloud-based software, that sort of thing. How that would translate, I have no idea. I imagine that I would be. I imagine that I'd probably become.
Struggling. I think you'd become. I could see you as a bard actually, being that D&D's a hobby and you tell stories. So
Yeah,
yeah, I could see that, but IT related. Not
join
sure.
join a theatre and maybe create some special effects. Who knows? Depends. I mean, if I had a laptop on me when I went over there, yeah, finding a way to charge it would be a problem. But hey, at least I could give a few really good shows if I could find a way of.
Solar charger. Solar charger. Jess has a solar charger. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is why we don't go camping.
Uh,
oh, oh dear. No, well, yeah, I think the internet's a really good thing. I'd miss the internet. I think I don't know. Maybe would I? I think I'd miss my creature comforts more than
oh,
anything else, like flushing toilets and baths,
I mean, they've
like
got
proper
flushing
baths.
toilets and they've got proper baths. You
Yeah,
just have to boil the water and fill it up, I guess.
yeah, but instant, like like boilers running. You know what I mean. That's what I'd miss in real life.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
way that you could invent a delivery means of heating up water in this world. Who knows?
Oh dear. So far, what would you say I don't know if I've asked this in like one of my previous questions, but what's the strangest or funniest way where the players have derailed a session so far?
The funniest that someone's derailed the session is hasn't been the players yet.
Oh, how was it? Was it you that derailed it accidentally?
I derailed it for you lot with the wake nut.
Oh God, wait nuts. I could not stop laughing. What made you come up with the wake nut idea? I'm guessing it's because coffee, caffeine, and it wakes you up, but
Pretty much.
not wake beans.
Nope.
Well, that sounds even worse. Oh no. Oh
Um,
dear. Ow. Sorry, I'm being attacked by a cat. It's fine.
I mean, one of the things that you have to consider if you're in a completely different world suddenly is that although some of the things may be the same or almost identical, there's going to be different names. There's going to be different ideas on what certain things are. So you could take an apple, for example, from world A to world B, but in world B they may not have apples, or they may have apples, but they may have it known as something completely different. To them, an apple might be a banana. You just don't know what the translation is in their language or in their world and in their customs. In Albion, the coffee beans are, for whatever reason, seen as an exotic nut that provides a really good boost of energy for the people here. But it's a delicacy and it's quite exquisite and rare because it's only actually grown on one island uh, that's fairly tropical nearby. So it's in very limited resource.
Speaking of tropical islands, so obviously Albion's like a world rather than just a country. If you're happy to share, which regions or cultures beyond Ironstead are you most excited to reveal to the players and to our viewers?
So in regards to Albion, Albion is more the continent that you're on than the world. Um, it's like most people IRL will turn around and go, "Oh yeah, I'm from Europe." They're not going to turn around and say, "Oh, I'm from Earth." You know, so
Mm.
um, Albion itself is going to be very much the continent rather than the world. But it's all of the world that I've got written at the moment, so that's kind of why the name Albion stuck for the world name temporarily. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, in terms of the cultures, you're very much going to get that sort of Nordic, Nordic European type of culture from that sort of period of our history here. It's trying not to reveal too much, but very much it's very much going to be ye olde English mixed with like Nordic and other maybe Germanic or maybe you know those sorts of influences. So very much European on this continent to begin with.
Mhm. Okay. So far, another question. So far, we've met 3 NPCs. I believe it was the traveler. I don't know if we got his name. I'm trying to look in my lovely little notes. No, we didn't take his name, funny enough. Okay.
Nope.
A farmer heading to Ironstead, Elijah, an elf, and now Elizabeth.
Yes.
Out of those 3 NPCs, will we be meeting them again? Do they have like a bigger influence in the world than we're led to believe? Or is that too spoilery to ask? Well, you did say Elizabeth has friends in the Azure Watch, which we'll come to a question about them in a bit.
Yes. Elizabeth has got friends in the Azure Watch. That is true. As for the other two, Elijah and the farmer,
The unnamed farmer.
the unnamed farmer. The unnamed farmer, not so much. It was more of a culture shock thing for your characters to go through. And then when the elf turned up, yeah, that was
Oh.
that was supposed to be one of the moments where you were going to become slightly more aware that you're no longer in on Earth. But Elijah was just a traveller. You might see him around, you might not. Who knows?
The sort of the I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto. That kind of moment. Sorry, bad. I can't do accents or voices. I try. So with the Azure Watch, was I going to ask? Bear with me. I have notes, and I was going to ask a really good question, and it just popped out of my brain. So I will ask. So far, saying about the real world kind of wake up moment. Out of all our lovely players, or rather characters, who do you think has kind of realised and is dead sure that they are? Yeah, they've been Isekai. This is real now. And who do you think out of the characters still believes, you know what, this is just we're unwell, we're on Earth still, this isn't real, this is something else.
Yeah, so there's definitely one member of the party that I know for certain is absolutely convinced that they are in a different world, and that is Steve. Like 100%, that is Steve. Um, he's cast magic. He's produced ice knife. He believes, and he's actually starting to try other magics, other things as well, um, which is a whole nother story. For Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one for him to discover, for Steve to discover. As for the rest of you, I think Jess is slowly coming round. I don't think she's quite there yet.
No, she's not there. She's kind of more, let's go along with this,
Yeah,
but I don't think she saw Steve
yeah,
use magic.
you've
She was in
still
a
got
bush, it's fine.
yeah, you've still got an air of disbelief around your character. Lou's character, who is Aurora,
uh,
she does not believe it one bit. Like, she will not break until something really big happens, that makes her realize this is what's happened. And I'm working that out.
how about Chris and Aspen? Do you think they believe yet, or they're still not sure?
I think as Aspen, mm, Aspen doesn't believe yet. I don't think she's going along with it. Like, because at the moment I think Aspen is working in a state of, well, let's just make this work for me. Whereas Chris is,
I think they are starting to believe, maybe. I don't know.
yeah,
What
they
do you think?
are. They're starting to believe, but they're not. Once again, they're not there yet. Um, Lou's character, however, Aurora, definitely, as soon as something major happens, that's when the cutoff will be.
What do you think? So, thinking about Elizabeth, obviously, she's mentioned that this has happened before,
Yes.
and that people have been isekai'd. How did you come to the because you explained the, I believe was it 1 year is no 10 years is 100 years or something. Let me just double check my notes again because I did write it down. How did you come up with the kind of time difference between the real world, which the characters came from, and the world they've been isekai'd to?
Yeah, so 1 year in the real world, i.e., on Earth, is going to be the equivalent of about 10 years in this world. So the reason for the time difference is because, on a whole scale of things, you're looking at people that have come through, and let's take this other group not going to mention names yet. I can't remember if I've told you them or not.
Nope, you haven't. What we know is they have the tailor shop called the Tailors of Cambridge. That far travellers that arrived 100 years ago from Cambridge, and yet they still look young. I want to know, how does that
Yes.
work? We'll find out how that works. I can't get metagamey here.
I mean, it's quite simple. I mean, when you think about it carefully and logically, what you're looking at is for the 100 years that they've been here in this world. When you look back and you do that time difference, then you'll realize, well, hang on a minute, it's only been 10 years.
Okay, interesting.
I think, hang on. Let me just make sure I got my math right.
You may have to re-listen to it to find out what we said there, because our math was terrible last time.
1 year is 10 years. 1 year on Earth is 10 years in this world. So 100 years in this world would be 10 years on Earth. So yeah,
time moves slower.
Time moves. Well, it moves quicker in this world than it does on Earth. But if you think about where they've come from, then you'll know, oh, that's the reason why they still look young.
Okay, interesting. So I have questions in front of me, and I was kind of going through and picking some out, and there's one I forgot to ask you earlier. Relating back to if you were as a guide to that world, if all the players woke up in Albion as their real world selves, so myself, Lou, Tom, and everyone else, with only their camping gear, who would survive the longest? And you know me anyway, so I'm interested to see what you'll say.
I think you would probably all survive as a group together because you've all got different strengths, but at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, there's a few of you that I think wouldn't be able to hack it after a few days. There's some of you that might take a bit longer to break, but if eventually you would all break, and it would all be within, I'd say, 6 months or so, you would all break.
You mean me, because I hate camping, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I will hold my hands up to that. I know how to shoot an iron barrow. I know iron barrow, a bow and arrow, but camping, heck no. Yes, let's move on from that one. So let me think. I'm trying to think. So we haven't had any questions come through yet, unfortunately. So I am trying to think of as many questions as I can. So don't be shy. Put some questions in the chat, please. Let me think. Sorry about this. As I said, I'm ill prepared because it got sprung on me like literally half hour ago that I was doing this. So it's all good. It's not. Let's see. I'm trying to find another good question I haven't asked. Bear with me. Let's see. So you've mentioned the Crimson Cloak Syndicate. Should the players be worried?
Let's redirect that question slightly, I
Okay.
think.
Okay, let's we'll move on from that one then.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I said redirect, not move on.
Redirect.
Yes. So, rather than go on about the Crimson Cloak Syndicate, let's talk a little bit about their history in the town, with the Azure Watch coming from the previous campaign that we've played. So there is a small amount of history that some of the players are aware of. And that history is based on the founding of the Azure Watch. And the whole goal of the original arc and the original campaign was so that they could make space and clear out the Crimson Cloak Syndicate from the town, making it probably one of the safest towns in Albion overall. The history with the Crimson Cloak is that they have their talons pretty much laid out across these lands. And yes, it's going to become a common foe that you are all probably going to be getting. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Getting to grips with throughout the course of this campaign. But their hold in Ironstead has definitely been weakened a lot by the Azure Watch, and you'll probably get to meet some of those heroes through the course of the campaign, without a doubt. As for the Crimson Cloak Syndicate themselves, they're still remnants because it is still very, very recent that the Crimson Cloak was removed from power in this town. And for the record, I would just like to say, welcome, Lou. We knew you.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so glad you're here. I'm running out of questions to ask.
I have a good few.
Yay!
Yay. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of history to uncover with the Azure Watch and the Crimson Cloak as we play this campaign.
And without further ado, I will hand over to my lovely fellow player, Lou. Lou, you're in the hot seat now.
Well,
What would you like
That's
to
not
ask our lovely
nerve-wracking.
DM?
I have a few questions actually that I have stored and ready.
go for it.
How long ago exactly did the Azure Watch campaign finish in timelines to when obviously our group entered this world?
It is very, very recent history, so you're looking at space of a few weeks.
Few weeks, okay.
Ooh.
That is very recent.
Yes.
Another question. What is this world called? I feel like this is information I should know, but I only know the name of Ironstead. That
So
is it.
Ironstead is the port town you're in.
Yeah.
The continent itself is Albion. The world itself, I haven't actually got a title for yet because I haven't
Fabulous.
fully built it out. And
That-
eventually it will just fall into place what it is. But the continent itself that we are focused on is Albion, which, as I explained earlier, is a romanticized, and the place names and things like that in Albion are going to be sort of romanticized from Old Britannia with some Germanic and Nordic influences woven throughout.
All right. Is there a close the
No,
same amount?
no. So as your characters are there, depending on if you take up the charge or not, it's up to you. You might be dealing with a few remnants of the Crimson Cloak Syndicate that may be dotted about. Or who knows? Who knows where that story arc may lead if you choose to go down that path.
Right. A big question that I had is, are there any dragons? And if so, are there any nearby?
Oh, I like that question.
Are there any
Thank you.
dragons, and are they nearby? Well, I can safely say there are going to be a couple of dragons dotted around.
Can we
Love
pet
dragons.
them?
No, you cannot
No,
seduce the dragon.
I'm not a bard. I said pet the dragon, not seduce the dragon.
I would like to adopt the dragon personally. Have it become part of the party and use it to take over the world.
I mean, I'm down with that.
I feel like that's the natural choice and evolution of things.
I,
If a
I,
bard has to get involved in some way, shape, or form to get that to happen, I sacrifice someone that isn't me.
We don't have a bard in the party, do we? We need to
We
find a
will make
bard.
one.
We'll adopt a bard and we'll get the bard to
Yeah.
seduce the dragon.
Metal, start making a bard NPC right now.
oh dear.
Oh, I've got a funny, light-hearted question actually on the topic of dragons.
Go
If
for it.
Albion had social media, what would be Ironstead's trending hashtag after the liberation from the Crimson Cloak? I can't talk. Sorry.
Ooh, I like that.
I reckon the trending hashtag might be something along the lines of hashtag Azure Watch, to be honest, or hashtag Unity, more to the point, would probably be more accurate.
Right.
Oh.
After all, the blade
Following
of
a
Unity and everything else.
following a similar line of thought, then, what would be like if Ironstead was a little bit more modern and had the technologies of modern day? What would be the most common social media used in Ironstead? Is it more like an Instagram place, a TikTok place, YouTube,
At the moment, the
Twitter?
idea. Yeah, so at the moment, the idea of social media in Ironstead is people rushing around with big bells, calling out the local news, and occasionally taking a bribe or two in order to pump out various ads or propaganda, whatever the case may be. So at the moment, it's like the town crier is the social network, but so I suppose it would be more like Blue Sky, where words are limited on the thread, as it were.
Right. Okay.
Hmm. I like
Interesting.
that. So who would you say Ironstead's biggest celebrities are then, since celebrities are all over kind of social media? Does Ironstead have celebrities?
Oh, Lou, would you like to introduce your other character from the previous campaign?
Oh goodness. I would love to. So my character from the past campaign that I have referenced is Penelope Sewin, who is the cleric in the Azure Watch.
Ooh.
Mm.
She is a wood elf. And everyone mistakes her for a druid. Even myself at one point, when I hadn't played for a week or two, and I was looking through my spells, and I was like, why don't I have druidcraft? I'm a druid. I was not a druid. I was a cleric. So that was very fun. She was. I don't even think she was the main healer. Honestly, I think I might have been the main damage dealer.
You certainly dealt a lot of damage. You also did do quite a bit of healing.
Guiding bolt. Guiding bolt. What a spell. Whoa.
But yes, so Penelope Sewin was one of them. I'm trying to remember all of their names from the previous campaign.
Well, I can tell you about Mergen
Murrigan,
Sewin.
Murrigan Sewin was another one. Then you also had, oh God, what was that? What was
Brock.
Bomberman's? Sorry,
Brock.
Brock was Wesley's.
Yes.
Bomberman's character I cannot remember. Shout out to him, by the way, because God knows how he did it. He is on the other side of the world in a completely off shift 12-hour difference time zone type thing, and somehow still managed to make every single game. So shout out to him. He is an absolutely brilliant player, and I'm kind of gutted he couldn't make this one. But what you had Brock, you had Penelope, you had Morrigan. I can't remember what the others' names are. I'm going to have to actually open up my D&D Beyond and go through them.
Terrible.
Yep.
So I've just realised something in this whole talk. Elizabeth the Tailor, did you deliberately name her after a certain real world celebrity, or was that just happenstance?
Nope, that was just happenstance. And Elizabeth was actually an established NPC in the previous Azure Watch campaign.
She was. She made Penelope's new clothing before Penelope and Mergen left Ironstead for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
And also brokered some very important information for the Azure Watch.
Yep.
Very, very good NPC. Very much liked. I liked the mentioning of the scorch marks on the floor when we first went there, by the way. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really neat.
Remnants from the flame that you successfully put out.
Yeah, I remember how shocked you were at how I use my spells.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh yes, prestidigitation. Best cantrip.
Yep.
By the way, I love these 3D models that I'm looking at.
These
Yeah.
are 3D maps that
They are so cool.
will eventually be exported for our campaign, by the way.
They're so cool.
They're very awesome. I'm
Very
trying
detailed.
to think of some other questions to grill our DM.
I have another question.
Go for it.
We're swirling back to the dragons here. Are there any other mythical beasts that we should be enlightened about?
There are a few mythical beasts that are available within Albion, albeit a little rare because they've quite a few of them would have been hunted near enough to extinction. Much in the same way in the real world, we have many animals that are extinct and or near enough going extinct because of hunting and poaching and such. You've got that in on the continent of Albion as well. So yes, there are a few mythical beasts that may be out there in the wilderness, but you will have to meet them when the time comes. There is one, however, that isn't so rare but is still mythical in this world. And to give you all a small flavour of what you might be coming up against in this campaign, let's talk about displacer beasts.
Oh no.
It looks like there might have been a circus tent to the side.
Oh yeah.
Is that of importance?
This is upriver port, upriver dock. Yes. Probably what you'll find later on in the campaign as you're traveling around is one of these little maps that gets thrown in there. This would be one of those little port town village type areas, probably more for fishing. And as you can see, that sort of Nordic-esque style of boats and things and such. So yes.
Love the sea, how the sea looks real. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's very nice fact.
It is. I can animate it, but if I for Foundry, and you can have it as an animated effect, but it takes up a lot of memory and bandwidth, so I will have it only as a still when the map is actually finally shown.
I think most people's PC setups will spontaneously implode.
Yeah, I had that a few times in the last campaign.
Oh yeah, we did.
That's the reason why that one was off stream, so that we could test what people's limits were.
Yes. Right.
It's very hard to come up with questions to grill the DM.
No.
What
I've come up with a few.
What
Go
are
on.
the Azure Watch currently up to? And that includes the higher up members and the member we sent far away.
So currently in the town, the Azure Watch are very much busy with the reparations. Not reparations. They're very much busy with the cleanup from the Crimson Cloak Syndicate, of which you can see one of their many hideouts that you would be familiar with as an old player.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
they're busy with the cleanup of the Crimson Cloak Syndicate at the moment, and making sure that that everyone is essentially behaving themselves at the moment. Because although there are laws and things within this town, they're not established as yet with the Azure Watch now being the side for justice and unity in the town. So it's very much a lot of diplomacy and politics for those that are higher up. And for those that are in the ranks, as it were, it's a lot of cleanup, rounding up, information gathering, and sort of getting to know the people in the town and reassurance around the town that things are actually on the mend and that the corruption has finally been rooted out.
Right. I can see them being quite busy with that.
Yes.
That was my last good question though.
Oh
I was
dear.
I was having a look through the questions I've got, but I found.
As for the one that you mentioned that's been sent far away,
Mm-hmm.
little Nix. I am not going to forget Nix. Nix has been sent away, but she's probably at this point in time just about ready to make her way and leave the town.
Ah.
I've got a question. So obviously this I'm unaware whether your previous campaign was streamed or not. How have you weaved in elements? How do you find weaving in elements from your previous campaign into this new campaign?
A lot of the elements from the previous campaign and weaving them in will be felt more by the established players within this town, more so than the new players. But the new players will definitely, the new characters will definitely feel that there has been a recent change or shift in power in this town. The important thing with all of this is that the Azure Watch is the group that's come in and filled that power hole, that black hole where the power once was, and is currently preventing other dark forces, as it were, from entering in the Crimson Cloak's place.
Good answer. I'm now going back to my crib sheet of questions. This is more kind of probably a DM GM question. How do you balance player agency with long-term story beats you want to hit along not just this campaign, in previous campaigns as well? How do you kind of balance that as a DM that might be able to help new DMs that may listen to this?
Oof. Oh, that's a tricky one. Okay, so in terms of hitting the beats with a long-term story, it's very much you work within the framework that you set out. So each story arc or each chapter or each thing that you tell, it should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And within each of those parts, they each have their own beginning, middle, and end. So you weave those long stories in it like out. So each story has a goal. That goal might be, let's just say, a simple fetch quest. If I turned around and gave you players a fetch quest, you'd turn around and go, "Oh God, not another one." You know, I've played so many of these in games. I've got to go to point A, from point A to point B, grab something, and come back. Like, but it's yeah, that's ultimately what you're doing. But it's being able to weave those additional challenges and those additional stories in with that journey. So you're not just looking at, oh, I'm fetching this and coming back. It's, well, I'm fetching this thing, but we have a problem. We have a challenge. There's obstacles in the way that we need to overcome. And being able to weave those obstacles in to expand the and using that to expand the characters and help them grow and develop, especially in an Isekai world where they're discovering their own abilities still. That simple fetch quest could be really challenging. But then throughout the course of this, there's also your own player story arcs as well that we want to weave in. And weaving those into the main story can be complicated or difficult for a lot of DMs. But it's a case of realizing where the good points are for those story beats to happen for the players at the same time as where they should be kept out of the main story that you're following the quest for. Judging when and where and how to play those sort of story arcs and beats and how to intertwine it, it's tricky, but you'll find that actually as you plan the adventure and as you plan out the world and map it out and work with the players narratively that you can weave them in pretty seamlessly. So, I mean, if for example part of that story beat was that player A had family that they were missing and they wanted to communicate somehow with them, but they'd passed away. Well, what the people on this plane believe and what people on Earth believe, they both believe they pass away. They both believe that they cross over somewhere. For all we know, that place could be exactly the same place, but just seen in a different way by each side. So that player could then potentially meet this mystic en route and strike up conversation, bring up past history, and then that mystic might turn around and go, well, let's see if we can communicate with them. Something that on Earth, psychics are known to be false representations and scam artists. Not all of them. Some of them are very genuinely believable, even though they are 9 times out of 10 just cold reading you. But within this world, having that belief and it actually being real and the communication with, say, your dead grandparents or your dead parents being a real thing that they can communicate with, it's going to bring, it's little things like this that need to be weaved in order to tell the player's story, especially in an isekai of this nature. And that is where my challenge as a GM is going to come in.
Great answer. So, another question regarding kind of player agency, derailing, and that sort of thing. How do you get the players back on track when they derail, but by still kind of giving them the kind of agency to kind of role play?
I mean, in terms of keeping things on track and keeping my timings and what have you within the campaign, whilst players are going off the rails, it can be a challenge, but there are things that I will pick up on whilst you're role playing. So I know that, for example, when there's too much conversation going on and it's going nowhere, it'll be times like that where I will maybe have, if you're talking to an NPC, for example, have them drop a small bombshell or lore bomb so that it brings you and your role play back on track, so that we're not spending 20 minutes talking about God knows what, and it just kind of try and keep you on track that way. So NPC prompts and things like that. There will be times when I just turn around, sit back, and go, "Well, you've got 3 hours. Talk amongst yourselves because you're enjoying this way too much, and so am I." But then there'll be other times where I might feel like I might have to railroad things a little bit to push the story along. But it would always be done within context to what the players are currently going through, or role playing, or acting out, whatever the case may be.
Has a derailment ever been so good that it's actually changed the direction of where the story was going to go in the first place?
Not in this campaign, and not quite that good in the Azure Watch, but close enough.
Really?
Yes.
Can I have an elaboration?
Let's put it this way. There was a whole section, a whole chapter that you lot skipped.
Oh, What?
Yep.
What
So,
chapter did we skip?
do you remember the right near the beginning when you were you were given a couple of options? You could either investigate the docks or you could investigate the market.
I think we went for the dock.
You all went straight to the docks, and
Yeah.
rather than sort of gathering your thoughts and pulling back as I thought you would so that you could get more information from the people in the markets, you all just dived straight into the underground tunnels.
Do you remember that?
And you kind of skipped an entire chapter.
That's brilliant. Well done.
Well, we had confidence. We knew what we were doing. We were strong and powerful. Didn't matter that we were like level 1.
At the time, I think you were actually level 2 at that point, but even
I think
so.
we were, yeah. We were confident.
Yeah, but what a lot of you didn't realize is skipping that chapter also skipped you a level up. So where the campaign was designed with 8 levels on your characters by the end of it with successful outcomes, you actually only ended up with 7.
Yeah.
So
But it wasn't because we failed anything. It's because we skipped something.
yes. So it balanced out in the end. There was a lot of information in that marketplace you could have gathered.
Damn.
That's fantastic.
And a couple of other NPCs you could have met.
Damn.
But
Well, now Aura will have an angel telling her to investigate things more.
that's one way of looking at it.
How did you come up with the where each character had their own experience in the tunnel as they were being isekai'd? How did you kind of come up with those experiences for each character?
So I did have a one-to-one with everyone prior, and I was using those one-to-ones to get a feel of what the characters were looking for and what they wanted to sort of develop into. And unfortunately, a lot of the work that I'd done, a lot of the notes that I'd taken during those interviews, got accidentally deleted when I had to rebuild my PC. So I'll be completely honest, half of it was on the fly. So there wasn't actually all of the challenges that I wanted to be in there. There was only really the ones that I could remember. The ones that I came up with on the fly were more designed for character shock rather than challenge, as it were. It's like a warning of if you're not careful, this is what you could become, or in one person's case, the large column that they were working as a part of the team in order to carry through the area, and that sort of message about not shouldering all of the burden on their shoulders because they were the fighter. You know, they were the one at the front. They were the one taking all the hits. Don't carry all the burden. So it was those types of messages based on the character and class that I was looking at.
Oh,
I wonder, um, was there any deeper meaning behind the talking fox? That has stumped me since day one.
Oh,
Why was
that's
there a talking fox?
think about it. You're a livestock farmer.
Yes.
And what do you do when you see chickens being got at by foxes, for example? What, as
Typically,
a farmer, would you be doing?
shoot it.
Right.
Typically.
That's the character shock. Hang on, why is this talking to me? The other part of it is your character's class, which,
She is
as
a
we know,
farmer.
she's a farmer.
Yep.
And yes, you can go out there and find the farmer class. It's on World Anvil.
Really good class. Would highly recommend.
And part of that takes aspects of the druid
Yeah, it has
into
druid spell.
consideration. And part of that is the ability to communicate with animals. So, as a farmer, and it's really bugging me that I can hear a clack, clack, clacking. But yeah, as a farmer, it's it would be a massive culture shock if all of a sudden those animals were suddenly talking to you when all you've done all your life was actually sort of shoot them.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I was going for there.
Right. So it was just a shock value, and there was no deeper meaning to what the fox was telling me.
Well, there might have been a deeper meaning, but that would be something that you have to figure out.
Damn it! I knew that fox was like some deity with some wisdom.
Mm.
These are good questions.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
Well, I think we've got time for a couple more questions before we wrap up for this fireside chat, where I am in the hot seat. So if anyone
Yes.
wants to ask their questions, whether they're watching on the stream or in Discord, or
I have not seen any come up in Discord as yet.
okay,
Let's
Question.
see.
yes.
What is the pantheon in this land?
Oh, that's a very, very good question. So, a lot of the pantheon in this world is primarily going to be based on the same pantheon that is in Faerun, which is Wizards of the Coasts. However, there will probably be a few name changes, although a lot of the ideas behind the gods and deities will be nearly the same. You're going to have the usual suspects, so god of death, god of life, healing, light, etc. But I would say think of them with much more of a Nordic flair. So we're talking gods and goddesses. Think along the lines of Freya and Odin, Thor, the Asgardian god deities, and what have you. So think that sort of pantheon. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting time when you get to meet them.
Oh, we're gonna meet them. Fabulous.
Well, they're followers, more to the point. You might get to meet some of them. You never know. Depends on how well behaved you are, or how badly
Ooh.
behaved in the case of some.
Oh.
I don't think we're badly behaved, to be fair, so far.
Well,
yet.
Aura's a questionable person there. She's done some crazy things in her life that she may carry through to the fantasy world.
Ooh.
Like shooting foxes.
Like shooting foxes.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
And riding bulls.
I can see
I,
that
I,
happening in this world.
Or riding dragons.
I genuinely fear she's going to jump on the back of a dragon and the dragon is just going to turn around and use its breath on her. That is a genuine fear I have for Aura, and I fear that's the way she goes.
Out of all the characters so far, which character? You're probably gonna say Aura now. Which character do you think is gonna struggle the most in this world, and which one do you think is? Which character do you think will thrive?
I think that Steve's going to thrive. Honestly, Steve will thrive. Whereas I think in terms of struggle, it's going to be very much a case of Aura struggling, at least to begin with. And I think Jess is definitely going to struggle, especially when out and about and not in town.
To be fair,
Oh,
Aura
no.
is still in a hard stage of denial.
Yep.
She's had magic
Jess.
used on her and she still refuses to believe it. She's still hardcore on the right, so when are we getting out of this LARP? And who made me touch weed and get high?
It's not the mushrooms.
It's not the shrooms anymore. It's something else, and I want to know what it is.
I think Jess is just going to struggle because of the lack of creature comforts, in all honesty. Yeah. And, trying to, and she's too, what's the word? Like, realistic, I would say. She's very kind of, this is how things should be. This is not
Yes.
right. This is, what are you doing?
Unfortunately, with that, I am going to have to excuse myself from this fireside chat.
That's
Thank
fine.
you for having me. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
answering all my questions.
You're
Thank
very,
you for
very
being
welcome.
here. I've only got one final question anyway.
Go on.
Well, I am very excited for next
Yes.
week, and I shall see you all then.
You will
See you
indeed.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
So go on. What's your final question?
Final question. What do you hope players and listeners take away from this campaign, like beyond the dice rolls, the battles, and the banter and things?
The D&D is just about having fun, using your imagination, and just enjoying the oldest of art forms, which is storytelling. At the end of the day, we're playing D&D, we're live streaming it, we're putting it up in podcast and on YouTube, but you'll notice that we're not asking for money or anything like that. We're not going to be taking on any sponsors or anything like that, at least not this first campaign. And that's simply because we are just here to have fun. We are a group of friends sitting around, using our imaginations, rolling some dice, and escaping reality for a few hours every week. It's about being able to take ourselves away from the stresses and strain of life, especially in the current climate, so that you've got that time to just chill and relax and be in a different place, away from it all, even if but for a few moments. The takeaway is it's a story, it's fun. There's no bias or prejudice or anything like that within our group and when you're sitting at a D&D table or any group for the most part. It should just be, we're here, we're drinking whatever we're drinking, we're enjoying what stories we're telling, and yeah. And at the end of it, we say goodbye and then come back in a week or so's time and do it all over again. That's the takeaway. Just sit down, relax, and have fun.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for answering all our questions this evening. I have been one of your hosts, Jude, and next Friday, 8:30 p.m. on Twitch for session 4 of Dice and Destiny. Hopefully, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.